Hi, my name is Michaela. I'm going to talk to you today about the program path that I'm on with Alliant. I'm taking the standard intern teaching with a master's in education. What this means is that instead of student teaching, I will be the teacher of record for 4 terms. This is good for somebody who has classroom experience, which I do. I've been in a classroom for 4 years as a paraeducator and have a lot of experience in a variety of different grades and classroom settings. The courses that are involved are because I'm taking two different courses, course pathways. I've got the teaching credential as well as my master's. I'm going to go ahead and encompass them separately, but I do want to talk about which courses are going to be required. In order for me to do the internship, I do need to have some courses already and then be cleared by a credential analyst. For me, I'm going to be cleared by August 15th, 2022. My projected graduation date is June 25th, 2023. Currently, I am taking professional learning and practice as well as educational foundations. Each term is 8 weeks long. This means that because I've chosen to stay with the school that I'm in and finish out the school year with my students, I am changing the pathway that I would have otherwise had. I would be able to start in the spring, but instead, I'm moving one of my summer courses into the spring. I'm going to be taking educational technology for 8 weeks, starting on March 7th. And then I'm going to have some master's programs that I'll talk about in a moment in May. And then in June, I will start my Content Knowledge 5 Math Pedagogy and 21st Century Approaches. Typically, that is taken at the end of um, the credential program, but because of my needs, I went ahead and confirmed with my um, academic advisor that it's okay to utilize that as a standalone course, and I don't need to take the other content knowledge courses beforehand. What you'll see here is that I do have 4 additional content knowledge and clinical practice. That is when I'm going to be in the classroom, and I will have a variety of supports in place. And that is going to, again, be 8-week courses, but there are 4 8-week courses. So let's talk about my master's classes. It surprised me when I decided to go back for my master's that I was only 3 classes away from getting a master's. I'm a little apprehensive because I am going to be taking 2 master's classes when I'm still doing my current job as a paraeducator. But I'm hoping that with it being towards the end of the school year, things are starting to wind down. Um, and so I will be finishing off the year with my students, my current 5th and 6th graders, as well as taking 2 of the 3 master's classes. I'm going to be taking critical thinking for teachers as well as introduction to research in May of this year. And then May next year, I will be taking research in action. All right. So let's see. Okay, I'm done with those. Let's talk now about the time commitment. Now, what's really nice about Alliant is that I have the ability to go to school at the same time where I'm working full time. And then I'm also intern teaching. So I'm going to be getting paid to go to school, which is very nice. A lot of times people don't have that opportunity. However, it is going to be a time commitment. I want to talk about the overall program hours. So there is an expectation across the program that I will have completed 600 clinical practice hours. That is typically my teaching. Then I'm going to have 144 additional support and supervision hours. That's when I'm working with my support person within the school. And then I've got 45 hours specifically for my English language. So, let me fix that. My apologies. What I ended up doing is I wanted to know exactly what it was going to look like week by week. So I broke it down and determined that I would need to have at least 18.75 hours a week of clinical practice hours. However, I know that I'm going to be able to achieve that easily because I'm going to be the teacher of record. So, school day is more than just 3 point something hours. Um, I was looking at the additional support and supervision hours. That is going to be 5 hours a week on average. I figure if I keep track of how many hours I'm receiving, which I'm pretty good at logging all of, well, I log everything. I'm going to have no problem reaching these goals. And then the English language, the specific English language, I budgeted 2 hours a week, but that really could be a an hour and a half one week, 30 minutes another, and then 2 hours. It really depends on the supervisor that I'm working with and then how in depth we're getting at that moment. But I'm confident that we'll be able to achieve these hours easily. Um, Covers that. And then I wanted to talk to you about what counts as the hours and who is responsible. So, when it comes to the clinical practice hours, we are not required to uh, log these hours. Most likely because if you're in the classroom and you're the teacher of record, you're going to meet the 600 goals, the 600 hours goal easily. Like I said, it says 18.75 hours just to reach 600. And I did the calculations actually. If I were to be in school, it would probably be closer to 960 hours. So, like I said, you're going to reach that no problem. So anything that involves being a teacher is going to be considered your daily duties. So if you're on sometimes things that are just a part of the teacher duty includes um, um, just being available to the students first thing in the morning, or they call it duty, is what they call it. It's just being available to the students, making sure they're getting in the hallways. That would count as clinical practice hours because you are acting in the capacity of a teacher. Additional support and supervision hours is anything where you're receiving support from the direct support supervisor or the admin or a peer teacher. That is where the support, if it just encompasses general reading, writing, math, teaching, classroom management, that would fall under additional support and supervision hours. English language is specifically related to English language development strategies, tips, tricks to provide the best support for English language learners. So I hope that covers everything in terms of who is responsible. I did want to also point out that it is the intern's job to document the hours, and it is the district support provider's responsibility to verify these hours for the additional support and English language supervision hours, not for clinical practice hours. Let's see. Required assessments. So there are three separate categories for the required evaluations. We've got the required course assessments, the required program assessments, and then the individual development plan. So the course assessments, let me go back one moment here. I just want to take a look. Yes. So the required course assessments involve the intern support log, which needs to be supplied weekly. The district support provider observation, it's due at the end of the term. The progress assessments, those are due on weeks 2, 3, and 7, or excuse me, 2, 5, and 7. And then you've got the quarterly assessments, the summative assessments, and then the video observation. Now, the video observation is a minimum of 3 complete videos, and if they are not submitted, it is an automatic fail. So that is extremely important because that verifies that you were there and you provided the lessons. The required program assessments are actually what probably scares me the most is the EdTPAs and the RECA assessment. Now, the EdTPA is essentially the teachers showing that they're able to teach, and the RECA is specific to the reading and the literacy and being able to teach that aspect of it. Now we've got the individual development plans. Now I was going through this. Now there's a lot of information that is put into the individual development plan, and I'm not going to go through all of them. But really, what it is it's essentially a portfolio of um, all of the all of the artifacts, all of the information that you have done during the program and during the clinical practice hours that'll show that you are ready to that you're eligible to be a teacher. Let's look here. Okay, so again, I said the last one was hard. The backup plan is actually hard. And that for me is because I feel like a backup plan is actually showing that you haven't succeeded. And if I don't do this, I mean, I've really committed to this. I've put a lot on the line to pursue this degree. So I was thinking that a backup plan can actually be a more than plan. A okay, if I'm not going to be just a middle elementary school teacher, maybe I really could go on and get my PhD and teach, high school, teach college. For right now, it's I'm very determined to succeed and stay on track and complete this program successfully. Uh, Honestly, failure is not an option for me. I've got too many responsibilities in my personal life to get off track. So, and then I wanted to really talk about my survival plan because in order to have, you know, all your eggs in this one bucket, which I do, is I need to give myself permission to just take a step back. And I do. Sometimes I will have to say I cannot complete this assignment tonight, but I'm very determined and d- really I'm disciplined that if I don't do an assignment the night I say I'm going to do it, I do wake up at 5 o'clock the next morning and I get it done. But really, that is because I have responsibilities outside. And I want to show you my big responsibility. This is my big why. These are my boys. This is Jason, the older one, and this is Brandon. And, I'm a single mom. These kids are counting on me. Currently a para educator, which I love my job. I love teaching my students, but I cannot continue doing the job I'm doing and provide my children with the life that I want to give them. And since I've always wanted to go into teaching since I was my older son's age, I really want to prove to them that I can get this done and that we can do hard things. So whenever I'm thinking about not being able to get it done, or if I think it's too challenging, I really go back to my big why, and it's these boys. So I want to thank you. I'm going to end this slide on my quote that is remember I've done hard things before. It's what I tell myself and it's what I tell my boys that we've done hard things before and we can get through this. So this is not easy. This is actually extremely challenging. It's very labor intensive because there's a lot of requirements, a lot of moving pieces. But I'm just want to have fun with it and take breaks and just kind of enjoy life as it comes. So I appreciate you sitting through and watching my presentation. I hope that this has inspired you to remember that you've done hard things before. Thank you.